So we welcome the candidates for Town Clerk, Ms. Susan Galvin, Mr. Michael Joyce, and Ms. Marion McKettrick. The same students will ask the questions. The first question will be asked by sophomore Jack Caljo, and Ms. Galvin will get the first response.
What are the first two changes you would make in the clerk's office, and why? And when might we see these changes enacted?
Well, we see one of the changes already enacted, and that is that we are now offer online purchasing for vital records and dogs. So that really was something that I felt should be done and should be offered. It's something that the other offices do offer, and it was time to start offering it. So that being said, another thing that I think we should offer is well, I think that our technology could be improved. But that being said, we are not in the IT business. We are in the people business. And I think we've got that right now. So.
Thank you. Mr. Joyce?
Well, sure. The first two changes I would make would, one, I think that I would do this personally. I hope that whoever the next town clerk is would do this. I think I would reduce my own compensation. I think that the current salary of the town clerk, I'm not sure. I think it's something in the neighborhood of $85,000 a year. I think, you know, that was paid to a gentleman who served the town for a very long time and over time accrued that salary. And I think that the next town clerk should be paid a lower salary, frankly. I think that's only fair to the taxpayers because, you know, in the private sector, you would never see someone coming in to start a job new earning the same salary that somebody who had 36 years of seniority had. So the first thing I would do is I would reduce my own salary significantly. The second thing I would do, it's great to hear that we now have online payments. I think there's more we can do along the lines of modernizing the office and updating the technology. You know, I've heard some folks say that they want easier access to public meeting times, for instance. And you know, why don't we have QR codes for smartphones so that folks can download the QR codes of public meeting times right onto their phone, so then it's easier for them to access.
Thank you. Ms. McKettrick?
Well, it's an interesting idea about the salary. I have to say, I know the salary is a range, and I don't see any reason why the clerk should start at the top. I never have. If you're starting out, usually it's a discussion with the warrant committee and so forth, but I'm certainly open to any discussion about salary that seems appropriate. In terms of what changes I would make immediately, one of the things I've talked about before at these forums, and I believe very strongly in, is that when people take papers out for an office, this is their first gesture saying that they're going to run, that should be put online so that you can look on the clerk's website and you can see who's interested in running. And then if they don't file the papers, of course, then their name goes off. But right now you have to go into the office to find that out. And I think that's an example of the kind of thing you need to do to open up the process, to encourage people to run, to educate them about who's interested in running, and it's part of what would make this office more open and friendly to everybody who wants to participate. So I don't think every change that needs to happen is on the website. I think there are other things that you can do. Other town offices are doing it, and the clerk's office should be updating its website. But I would also want to make sure the clerk's office was welcoming to all, and that means the day after the election, if you work for Michael Joyce or Susan Galvin and I'm elected, I'll be as friendly to you as I would be to the people who work for me. Thank you.
Ms. Galvin, you have a 30-second response.
Well, I'll be very friendly to you regardless of who you are, when you are, what time of year it is. Doesn't matter to me. In terms of salary, having the experience in working in that office, there is absolutely every penny of that job deserves it. It is 24 hours, 7 days a week that you are required to be on call. And I have the experience, so therefore I really do feel that it is warranted to get that salary. I think it's a nice gesture. And
that's 30 seconds, ma'am. The next question will come from sophomore Cormac Connors, and the question will go to Mr. Joyce.
In terms of experience, where are you strong and where are you deficient, and how will you address these deficiencies?
Sure. Well, I think I'm strong in a number of areas. One, I've been a town meeting member a few years, so I'm familiar with the role and the responsibilities of the job and what it entails. But I haven't been there so long that I'm not unwilling to try something new. I think that's important. I think that institutional ossification can happen to any organization, and town government is no different. And I think that having that fresh perspective to bring to the job is important. And so many of folks my generation in Milton, they're Milton residents too, and they matter, and frankly, they're not participating. And I think that bringing that fresh perspective, I think, would get more folks engaged in the process, which makes it work well for everybody.
Thank you. Ms. McKettrick?
In terms of experience, I offer my 12 years in the Board of Selectmen, dealing with all kinds of constituencies and dealing with all the town departments, and looking at different types of problems and trying to be open to the perspectives of everyone in town. I think this is a very strong kind of experience to bring to the clerk's office, which is a pivotal office for the town. I also have background and experience as an attorney. I think working with the sorts of matters that attorneys do work with, which involves a lot of paperwork, a lot of detail, and a lot of legal requirements, which is what defines what the clerk's office has to do, is excellent background. And I've also worked as a research analyst, and in fact worked on setting up and computerizing record systems in the courts decades ago. So I've been thinking about this issue of taking paper records and trying to make our processing of them more efficient for a long time. What deficiencies do I have? I haven't actually worked in the clerk's office. I've observed what happens in the clerk's office, and as a selectman, I worked with the clerk's office on a number of functions. I will have to learn the specifics of working in the office, and I would rely very much on my staff and my ability to be a quick learner in order to do that.
Ms. Galvin?
Well, the experience I offer is that I am currently the assistant town clerk. And as such, I have inside knowledge as to how the operations of town clerk should function. It is a vital department. And, I have experience attending meetings. I have experience in processing vital records. I have experience in many of the facets of the town clerk. In terms of my inexperience, and I kind of see it as a positive, some might see it as a negative, and that is that I am not a politician. This is a totally new arena for me. I entered into the clerk's office as a regular worker, and an opportunity was presented. It's a promotion for me. I am currently doing the job. And, sorry.
No, it's okay. You can finish your
Thank you.
Mr. Joyce, you have a 30-second response.
Sure, yeah, and I would just say, we've heard all three candidates throughout this race talk about the importance of modernizing the office and updating and using newer technologies, and I think that, again, a strength of mine is that I'm familiar with modern technology, and I think it's great that in the past other candidates have done things in terms of, newer technology, but technology is changing. I think I'm familiar with the most modern technology, and I think that for that reason I'm the best candidate.
Thank you.